Hello, hello, hello. I know, I'm running a little behind today. Everybody's probably going, where's she at? Boo boo be doo woo. Just forewarning, crazy move today. Crazy, crazy mood. Hello, Michelle. I knew I felt somebody watching me. I look like the devil today, and I'm just like not caring because, oh, it's been one of those days. We're not even going to go there. I'm telling you, I just had to talk one out of getting his ears pierced. He was going to have his girlfriend do it. Oh, or well, one of his female friends. Sorry, I shouldn't say girlfriend, but I guess I mean they're girls and friends. It's like, no, you're not going to do it in somebody's bathroom at college. Not when you have extra thick earlobes, dude. It hurts. Trust me, I know. You want to smack him and be like, "Don't do the stupid shit I did." Oh, excuse my language. Stupid stuff I did. Hello, my other viewer. It says I have two, so that means Michelle. Why not? Because they're not even and they're crooked. I don't have a problem with him getting them done. Just get them done someplace like, a tattoo parlor that does piercing. Um, you know, because I don't want him to put earrings in and then be facing his head and not straight out. Just craziness. I mean, I got mine done back in the 90s at a Walmart, and they still screwed them up. And they were supposed to be, the best there was at that time and, age. Should have gone to a freaking tattoo shop. I've learned my lesson. Who else is in here? Hey, lurker, come in and say hi. Yeah, I agree, Michelle. The gun is the worst way to get it done. It freaking like I've had piercings done in every other, my in other than my ear, and like I hate those guns. I hate them with. Hey, Ken. So yeah, I'm doing a challenge tonight. Also, for everyone who is in here, if you do have like TikTok, Twitch, um, all of the other like things, hi, I can't remember the name of the other one that we're like jumping from TikTok to. High Notes. Is that what it's called? Yeah, High Notes. Um, please, if you love All for the 22, we are coming out with a new hashtag. It's hashtag Furious All for the 22 Love Nation. Gotta love it. Um, we are actually kind of merging with Furious Love Nation um, in that sense because we all love each other. You know, they believe in a lot of the same things we do, and they have shown so much love to me over the past few days. Um, I've been having a really hard time with some things, some very personal things that have come up over the past few days. Actually, about the past week, and they have all been there, um, and really have let me just kind of spew. Furious. Hi, Jen. They've all really been there. And, I have really been in kind of a not so good headspace because of some things that we learned um, over the past week. And it's really kind of weighing my head, my soul down. Not so much, me, but my soul. And so I have been holding it in, which is what I do best. I put it in, into everyone else because I put out everybody else's fire. My fire isn't, I don't ever think my fire is worth putting out. So I put out everybody else's because it helps me. And it's really, this one has kind of taken me down. And I cannot say enough for Ken and Jen and Michelle. They've really been there, all of them. Everybody from Furious Love Nation. The other night I was just bawling my eyes out because, you know, I had another widow jump my ass because I wanted to, I wanted our kids, these Gold Star kids who have already lost so much. I wanted them to understand, that they've still got family out there even though they're growing up. And it was just when I was talking to Ken and Jen and Michelle and all of them, it was very soul cleansing because it was like I didn't I didn't have to be the warrior, of these kids. I could, let it go. And they didn't need a complete explanation. They understood and they knew, because I am always my kids' warrior. Forever and a day. I don't care. I will go down fighting if that's what it needs to be. But like I never thought I'd have to fight another widow with children for something like that. I never, and they have to grow up. You bet they have to grow up, but they had to grow up when they were little. While they were still little, they were growing up. They were having to deal with things that were 15 years ahead of their, what they should have been doing it when they were, you know, 40 and 50, not 3. They shouldn't have had to bury their dad at 3 years old. They should have been burying their dad at 63 years old. And it's, I don't know. I guess it takes a toll on you. And this is where everybody says, I'm too emotional, but when you sit and you hold your 3-year-old while he's putting a blanket on his dad because daddy's cold, what do you say to that? He's 3. All he knows is daddy's cold. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Hi, everybody. Please come in. You know, I got told the other day that I'm the CEO of a nonprofit. I'm supposed to not, I'm supposed to hold it all in and not be emotional. How can I not be emotional? The things that we hear, I would rather be emotional so that people understand I'm human. Because every story I've talked to people and heard, I get off the phone and I cry because no one should ever be made to feel like that. Yeah. Well, and one of the biggest things for me, Shell's right. I'm still human. I'm still 100% human. And I literally looked at the person who was telling me, "Hi, Dances with Coffee." How are you, my love? You know, well, and that was something that, I put up there. I said, "Who would you rather talk to? Somebody who doesn't have emotions or someone who understands how you feel?" Hey, JP. Mwah, much love to you, my Chicago brother. Who would you rather talk to about your mental health? Oh, hey, Beth. I'm sorry. I was like, I don't know if I know her. Who would you rather talk to? Someone who has emotions just like you do, or someone who buries them down? And I'm sorry, I'm going to say this. There are some really, really hard people out there who can bury it down, but it will eventually have to come out. And when it does, it is like a dam exploding. And I feel bad for whoever is in the valley below that dam because they're going to drown. Because that person, it is just going to come out. Yeah, it's just like a volcano or a dam or whatever, because it's going to just rock whoever is downstream. And I say that because I've seen it. I've watched people hold their crap together for so long, and then it's like boom, everyone's done. And sometimes it comes out as anger. Sometimes it's a mental breakdown, and they have to be committed for, 10, 20, sometimes 60 days, because they've got to get it back under, they've got to realize that being healthy here is just like being healthy here. And, like today, I go see a therapist every 2 weeks. I mean, because my mental health is just like my physical health. Hell, I take care of my mental health more than I take care of my physical health sometimes. And we got to talk, my therapist and I got to talking about Off for the 22. And I started crying because I've never had, because she said something, she was like, you know, with everything that you've been given in life, she says, with all of the crap you've been given, if anybody, deserves a pity party, it would be you. She says, but you haven't done that. She says, anytime someone tried to push you down, you pushed back and told them, no, I'm going to get down for a little bit, but you push back and you push harder and you get back up. And I told her, I said, but it's different this time. I said, I'm not getting up alone. I said, for the first time in my entire life, I'm not alone. It's not just me believing in this dream, it's other people believing in me and in my dream. And I don't think anybody's watching this understands that this is the first time the people have believed in me and in my dream. Because y'all have just, I know, it's the first time while doing what I love, I'm not completely alone. And Christy, I love you. And you have been one of the leading causes why I haven't felt alone, because I'm back with my sissy. But then seeing, you know, oh Lord. It's like, it's so weird. Yeah, I know. That's because she messaged me. It's so weird for me to see how many people have started to believe in my dream, because I was always told from the moment that my dreams were never going to amount to anything. And then the more you guys have heard about us and the more you guys have seen us, the more you guys have believed. And it's like, I just, now I'm even more determined. Like my husband, he laughed. He's like, the more the people believe in you, the more you work. He was like, my God, I wish these people had believed in you a year ago. And I'm like, why? And he's like, cuz. He was like, imagine where we could have been if you had these many people. Sorry if I'm sorry if I keep I love everybody. I love everyone that has come in. And it just you guys keep shocking me. And you guys keep leaving me speechless because I just I've never had people believe in me the way that, it is now. Chris and I have always believed in each other and what we can do. My husband, of course, he believes in me. He's my husband. He was like, here, do what you need to do to try, to get out there and do your best. And like he was one of those people that says, but don't get, too into it if it doesn't take off. And, now we're on our way into our fourth year. And like I'm not even going to lie, I was about ready to give up because we were not. And then all of a sudden, you guys are showing up. And the more people see us, the more calls we're getting, the more texts we're getting, the less I want to give up. And the more I'm thinking, okay, I was right to just hold on. I kept telling my husband 1 more month, just give me 1 more month. And now he is like, no, you're not giving up because we're doing something here. And I'm like, I ain't giving up. I see. I know what we're doing. See, my dream ain't so stupid now, is it? Like I literally told him that the other day while he was on the phone with one of his backpack buddies. I was like, see, it ain't so stupid now, is it? And he was like, shoot up. But we've been so I don't know even how to thank everyone because you guys have basically, shown me that nope, I'm not. This has been a dream of mine for so long to figure out, but figuring out how to make it work. I think that was my biggest thing was figuring out how to make it work. How to get it to work. What the heck did I do? Sorry. Trying to keep my iPad charging, but then keeping it like to where I don't look like I'm half naked and my boobs are up in my face. Okay, so I know one thing. Is that what we're going with, Kenneth? I thought we were going furious all for the 22 Love Nation. Ken's sending me some strangeness. I'm telling you. Michelle, I'm about to stick you in this live with me. Because I feel like I'm talking to myself. Like I'm watching this dang comment section. You know what? Screw all this. Oh man, yeah. Kenny's always got a mind of his own. Crap. Now I gotta pull the dang thing up. Uno momento. You gotta get off high note, you goober. Oh my gosh, we have 11. This is the highest I've ever had in my life. Y'all just do not know. I am loving everyone. JP, by the way, everybody, I want you guys to listen, to hear this. JP, I met him one time at a Save 22 a hike. And I have to say, JP's got the sexiest legs I've ever seen because I saw him in his kilt. He also makes amazing apple pie. Um, yeah, I tasted that. But he is the most amazing guy. He's sweet. He stands behind all of us. Are you freaking kidding me? Okay, everybody, hold on a second. I'm going to freeze for a minute. And I'm back. He has got, I mean, if I was after that, hello. But yeah, he is one of the, if you need an advocate or you need somebody, yes, he is the one that you want to have in there because he is absolutely awesome. JP, don't you have a podcast that you do? Oh, see, there she is.
Hi.
Oh my God, we're in bed together.
Oh my god.
Oh my God. Hello, Miss Lori. Yes, JP has the podcast, which they do touch on, different things. I know they touch one on one. They get, yes, the watcher's point of view. Okay, I am not sure. JP, you just confused the hell out of me. The watcher's point of view. Isn't that what you wanted? I know. Okay, am I the only one who's confused by that?
Well, I mean, the watcher's point of the watcher's point of view. So it's like maybe he's talking about the point of the watchers that are watching the watcher's point of view.
Okay. But I know he does like stuff with Kyle, and she's gone. Maybe she'll be back. Ah, gotcha. It's the watcher's point of view. Okay. I know you do. He does. I know he does stuff with Baby Jesus. Yes, Lori, we can see you. Baby Jesus, which is Kyle Killinger, who is. Oh, and now she's back. I see
Oops.
how it is.
No, hi, Lori.
Um,
I was trying to look at the chat and I hit the leave button on accident.
ooh, yeah, don't hit that button again.
Michelle is
I
not
know,
allowed to push buttons.
I know he does one with, I know he does one with Kyle Killinger, who is also Baby Jesus. You'll hear me talk about him nonstop because he's absolutely freaking hilarious. I know he talks with Save 22's founder, Tom, and I never remember his last name. I always remember Missy, but I can never remember Tom's last name. Indoor, which they are out of Ohio. I think Kyle's out of Indiana. Um, yeah, indoor. See, I remember. They Tom actually does a lot of work with veterans and suicide. Like he is all over the place. He has some really, really deep conversations with people and like of all walks of life. Um, love them, but he is also very supportive of our cause
Yes, he
because
can, Kenny.
do what?
Kenny says he can be
Oh,
everywhere.
Kenny is everywhere all the time, and I don't know how he does it. I swear he's got a clone. Telling you. Um, but he is also very supportive of us and our all for the 22 and what we do because he understands that we're trying to catch people before they reach that ledge, long before they reach the ledge. Because we have those that are trying to catch them before they fall off the ledge, and we're just trying to catch them before they get close to the ledge. And I know Michelle, bless her heart, love her to pieces. She had to talk me down off of my proverbial, oh my God, I'm about to commit Facebook murder last night.
Just a little bit.
Oh my Lord. Oh, because I was just like, my head was about to explode when we got home from taking my son back to school. Oh my Lord. Oh, that was hilarious though. You got to admit that was some funny crap though.
Yeah.
We won't say what it was, but it was so funny. Last night I almost got onto High Notes because I know that's the one place I could have like gone off and he'd have never known about it. But I was like, how many people do I have on my Facebook that would hear about this and then go look him up? That was my big worry. And then it would have been, oh my Lord, someone's going to
I
hunt him
may
down.
or may not have asked for a name.
Oh, honey, I'll show you right to him. I will tell you exactly.
I told you what I would do.
Oh my Lord. I'm
And
telling you.
I told you what I'd do.
He is like 3 colors shy of a frosted cookie. I ain't even lying.
Lord Jesus, thank you for saving me.
Oh Lord. Oh, Jen,
Lord Jesus, thank you for saving me. Give me a little bit, Jen, and I'll explain it all to you, honey.
Oh Lord. I figured this out. He's one of those people that will buy the kit at Walmart with the frosting and everything in it, eat the cookie and the frosting, and expect it to come out the other end completely decorated.
Oh, Lord Jesus, save me. But it's okay because Jesus saved him.
Oh, yeah.
Saved him from the wrath. Hallelujah.
Okay, we got to calm down because this is on Facebook too. Oh, wait. He doesn't need mine. He doesn't need all for the 22. Oh, yeah. We're going to be all over on High Notes later. I'm telling you.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
So, you want to help me make our challenge? Because you know all about this challenge.
So, okay. I want everybody in the chat to let me know if you have TikTok. Yes, it's a horrible app, blah, 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 blah. We're going over the other one eventually, but there's more people on TikTok right now. So I need to know who in TikTok who in the chat has TikTok and who would be willing to help out with the challenge.
Well, they're also, because I'm going to do it on a live like this too.
Okay, on a live like this too? Okay, yep. So if by what date?
If
any of the next two Tuesday lives. If we can get 100 viewers into one of the lives. Penny, well, over there, freaking mirror image, is going to go out and buy a full head to toe pimp suit pimp cane, everything. We talking about the hat with the feather,
Heather,
everything. And
the whole nine.
do a live dressed up straight up as a pimp if we can get 100 viewers watching at some point in the
At
next
one
two
time.
lives.
It doesn't even have to be more than like 1 minute. And trust me, I can see how many people we have. It doesn't even have to be longer than 1 minute. And
We
I
can
know,
hit that 100 mark for 10 seconds.
yeah, 10 seconds.
She's
'Cause I
gonna
watched
be
that
a
thing.
pimp.
But
Because,
I'm
you know,
always telling,
a pimp because she's always telling us to use
use
her.
us. I am telling everybody, I always feel like a pimp because I'm telling everybody, please use us. And you can tell, Kenny's heard me say it. Everybody on my live's heard me say it. I'm constantly saying, please use us.
Do
And
I
I
have to
know,
now that I'm officially part of All for the 22? Yes, by the way, hi, I'm officially part of All for the 22 now, for those of you who didn't know. Do I have to start telling people to use me?
I mean, you don't have to. Use me, baby, use me.
Use me, baby.
But I tell people all the time, please, if you know someone, tell them so they can use us. I know, JP, you knew I was dirty minded. Jesus Christ. This is nothing new.
JP, don't even you over 18, right? Don't even try saying wow, honey. Kenny!
What did you just say?
He goes, aren't you used anyway? I don't know whether to take that as somebody's using me or if I'm used and abused and put away. How should I take that? Or if I'm a
Oh,
used model. Maybe I'm just a
sweetheart.
used model.
Lori, I'm telling you right now, you ain't even popped the seal on how dirty this mind is. And
I mean,
Michelle and JP will tell you that.
I think he just meant that I'm a used model.
I was married to a Marine.
I'm old, so.
I was married to a Marine, okay? That right there shows you I have a dirty mind.
I'm not used, I'm vintage. I'm classic.
I know, we're classics. As by the car what the car says, I'm an antique.
Oh, Kenny, please tell me that was a typo. Please tell me that was a typo.
What am I missing? What did he just put? Okay, he's not in my
He
freaking.
said, no, he sent it to me on Messenger. He said, I sure wouldn't call you a condom, LOL. And then quickly underneath said classic. And I'm like, please tell me that was a typo. Please tell me that was a typo.
Oh my goodness.
Please tell me that was like an autocorrect fail or something. I mean, yeah.
Kenny, shame on you. Oh my lord. See, I'm telling you, me and you should get on these things more often because we are killing them.
Right? And what you know, did he, Jen, you have to describe his face for us, like seriously, because I can't open bunch. You have to describe his face.
Oh my gosh, this is hilarious. I wish I had it on my phone now. I am like, oh my god, I wish I had it on my phone. Oh,
Please
because
tell
that is
me
so
it was
funny.
like a typing fail and he meant classic to begin with.
Oh,
I'm a
well,
Model T. I'm
ow,
a
hey,
Model T.
that is too far because I'm older than she is,
She is. She's older.
and I will
Classic and
kick
can
your
never
butt,
be
Kenny.
replaced. Classic
Yeah,
and can never be replaced. Oh,
we're
I
priceless.
love your
That's what he
face.
means.
Nice save, Kenny, with your Joker face.
Yeah, I know, right? He is right on up to that booty.
You brown nosing auntie here.
Yeah, I think he needs a wet wipe.
Hey, and you picked us, okay?
Yes, I do. Do you
You
want the invite, JP?
you picked us, okay? I was picked. You picked us.
I
Girl, you got no idea what you in for.
Oh, you girl. Do you
JP
think
wants
I
to
would
come
have
in.
do you think I would have freaking picked you guys if I didn't know how freaking loony I am?
Hey, but sometimes the craziest people are the best to help people with mental health issues. Where did you go?
Hold on.
Oh, okay. Like, it went black. Where did you go?
I gotta invite JP. Hello.
Oh, okay. I didn't see. You didn't. Okay. I'm gonna have to fix this now that I know I'm in here. I gotta fix this.
See, and that's the funniest thing, like with everybody. I die laughing because everybody thinks I am this like until they actually get to know me. And Christy, I swear to God, don't start giggling and laughing because you know how I am. And you've known it from the beginning.
Lori, what do you need us to explain?
What do you need us to explain, Lori? We are all dirty minded here.
She
See,
said, "Please explain to me." I'm
I
like,
know.
"What? Explain what?"
Like, we are the weird version of it. Instead of us all floating down here, we're all perverted down here.
Oh, because we're crazy.
Yeah, oh no, we're all dirty minded.
But we can be professional if need be.
Yes.
We can be serious.
We always tend to
Hey,
if
Tiff.
we need if we need to be what's your trash can? I am
Hmm?
totally lost right now.
Huh?
Kenny, I'm totally lost right now.
I'm picking your nose. Kenny's picking my nose,
Oh.
apparently, on the projector screen.
Hi Tiffy, I love you. JP, I sent it to you on Messenger.
Okay, now I have my teeth in. I don't feel so awkward. Like, got me all up on here on Facebook World and Twitch and all that other stuff, and I didn't have
Shit,
no
I
teeth in.
don't care. There him is. Why, hello, Mr. JP.
What's up,
Hey, hey.
JP? See, why you trying to act innocent?
Who, me? Innocent? I'm always innocent.
He is not innocent.
Wow.
Do not take that lie.
Wow.
Major
Really?
innocent.
Wow.
No, it's
I
true.
am
Like that was
sorry, but you
shocking?
know me.
Okay, and what you're saying, you're not an innocent person?
You are not
No.
innocent if you know me.
Ah, okay, note to self.
Okay, you were too softly spoken.
How about now? Is that better?
Bet much.
Or should I increase it? Is that better?
Yeah,
Way
because
better?
me and Michelle are loudmouths.
Oh, we noticed. I just said with love.
Bullshit, Michelle.
I missed that. Whatever happened.
Oh, you can't be a loudmouth because you're outside now.
Mm-hmm.
Who lied to you? I live in the country.
That's what I was getting ready to say. Don't you live on a farm?
No, I don't live on a farm. I do live in the country with about 7, 8 acres of land, but it ain't no farm. We got 2 dogs and, well, the kids count as farm animals.
I thought that
I
was
was
just free
getting
labor. That's why I thought. I
Not
mean, I
See,
mine.
don't mind.
that's why me and Tiffany can't get together. We're both loudmouths. My neighbors would never sleep.
So what's up with this new challenge you ladies
My
got
kids
going on
free
here?
labor.
Okay, so for about the past 6 months, I've been telling everyone that to use us, and I made the comment probably the first time about 4 or 5 months ago that God, I felt like a pimp because that was pimping out hoes, only I was one of the hoes also. Because I was like, please use us. Because nobody was using our call line. Like it was sitting there and we weren't getting anybody.
No, that's good
We've
and
got,
bad.
we had, well, I mean, yeah, it's good and bad, but like we were having people like on TikTok, we were getting like having people like put, hashtag us,
Right.
and like, this person really needs your help.
Farm animals,
Please.
Lori. Farm animals.
Okay, what did I miss? Did I miss something?
She
there?
said, "Did you say
Lori
sperm
said-
animals?"
Did
Okay,
you say
let's see.
sperm animals or farm animals? Farm. FARM. Farm.
But we kept getting, tagged in all these,
Hello,
people's
JP
videos.
Patches. Well, hello, Lori. Patches, huh? I was like, what? The patches on the side, or which patch?
Well, all
Or is
these people kept doing it. So finally, I was like, I'm starting to feel like a pimp because I keep, getting our trying to like, come use us, please use
Mhm.
us. If you're feeling down, please, call us. Somebody will answer the phone every time.
Right.
And it's like, Toby, this friend of mine from North Carolina, he's on TikTok. He does, his name is, and they call me Toby too. And he is like really big and he's been, pumping us up because he's like, him and his wife, he's a veteran. And like, he was really upset because he called in one time to the suicide hotline and they put him on hold for 45 minutes.
And
that
then when
45
they got
minutes-
to his 30 minutes, oh, well, that's all the time we have for you, and hung up on him.
If you're still feeling suicidal, go to the ER.
Yep.
Hello, suicide hotline. Please hold.
Exactly. I mean, in that
What the-
45
I'm
minutes,
sorry, we've been on the
they were
phone with
really
you for 30
suicidal, they'd be
minutes. If you
dead.
still feel suicidal, please go to the ER. We're done with you, click. The fuck? Sorry.
Wow. No.
No,
You know,
I'm with you, Michelle.
here's the
I'm
thing.
with you.
That's a very sensitive topic for a lot of people. Let's be honest. We're talking about someone possibly ending their own life, and
You
they
know,
have no one out there to speak with, talk to, and sometimes all it takes is one person to sit across from you via phone, in person, whatever the case may be, let you vent, because sometimes it's a vent, or sometimes you need someone who has been in your shoes already, understands your shoes,
and
or
that's
has
why we're
walked your
here.
walk. And that's the
Exactly.
issue, though. And it's I brought this up before. When I talk to other veterans, when I talk to people who are in different organizations, uh, the problem is that the VA, and when people are ending their term of service and rotating out, they have two issues. They're having civilian people rotate military people back into the world with a PowerPoint presentation that doesn't do nothing. You've had people who have basically spoken to you in very hardcore military terms for the past 4+ years. And then you have somebody coming to you going, well, gentlemen, they're grunts. They have that grunt mentality, or pogue, whatever it may be. Everybody has that different mentality. And you have someone calling you sir, ma'am, ladies, gentlemen, and you're not used to that. You're used to hearing maggot, wake up, you POS, whatever the case may be. And then you have someone sitting here with a PowerPoint presentation telling you, well, you're going to rotate back to the world now. No, your blouse is no longer a blouse, it's a shirt. Okay, we do not blouse our pants and our boots. We just let them out. And you're like taking 4 years of reconditioning someone when they first came in, telling them go back to the way you were prior to you coming in, and good luck.
Well, and
You know,
on what you're
And
saying,
it
too,
doesn't prepare you.
no,
I can tell you, Matt wasn't even given that much.
a lot of people aren't giving 1/3 of what I'm describing,
Yeah,
and
a
that's the
lot of them aren't even
problem.
given that.
And well, here's the other issue too. You have how should I put this? Because God knows I love our veterans. But on that same token, you don't have the people in play bringing them back to what we call normal society or alleged normal society. And then you have the program like the VA, and you don't have enough of the family, the camaraderie, the brotherhood working in those areas where veterans want to come in there. Number two, a lot of veterans are have that mentality of, well, if I do this, I'm weak. You're not weak. Asking for help isn't weak, but I've heard guys have survivor guilt, where their battle buddy didn't make it. Or I've had people who said, I wish I could have gone over because my friend went over, this person went over. I never got a chance to serve overseas. I was stuck here. And these guys really get pissed at the fact of they weren't over there with their friends
Well,
or family.
and one of the things that a lot of people don't understand is everybody qualifies. Everybody says that everybody who went over there came back with PTSD. Not everybody that went overseas comes back with PTSD. Some people come back with it, some people don't. And there's a very big difference in that
It,
because not every deployment over there is a traumatic deployment.
well, we used to call it shell shock back in the day. Okay, we called it what it was.
Yeah.
We didn't sugarcoat anything back in the day with these different terms. And like I told you before when I met you, I don't like the term disorder, PTSD. The last part of that, disorder.
I
People
call
don't
it
have
PTSD disease.
it's what it's something that happens due to the things that you dealt with. And like I said, back in the day, it was called shell shock. Period. Was shell shock. You dealt with mortars going overhead. You were fired at. You dealt with some hardcore things. Now everybody's like, well, let's you use more passive terms. Well, why are we using passive terms to describe something that's not passive? You know,
You
and
can't always be PC when it comes to mental health.
well, you can't be
Sometimes
No.
PC.
you have to
Period.
be blunt.
Well, let's be honest about something. I'm glad you bring that up about PC. How many veterans do you know that are PC?
None.
Okay, especially what my two favorite branches, the Marines and Army. Those are the two most non-PC people on the face of the planet, followed
They
by
don't
Navy.
sugarcoat a goddamn thing.
Let's just be honest. Those are when you deal with military people, they almost get offended if you're not blunt and straight to the point.
Well,
You
and
know,
that's one of the hardest things is people and that's one thing I love about us as a group because we do have veterans and 90% of us, we can tell within the first probably 2 minutes of talking to somebody on the line is if they are a veteran, if they've ever been with the military people in their family, if they have military somewhere, that they've dealt with. Because within those first 2 minutes, we know, okay, are we going to have to be gentle with this person or are they going to want everything front forward in their face?
oh, yeah.
And it's like, because I've talked to several people and it's like they don't want it sugar-coated. They want it, here's what the hell is going on. Here's what you have, what I had to do in my instance. And then you've got those that it's
Some
kind of like,
people you
well,
need to hold their hand. Some people you need to hold their hand, and some people you need to tell them to put their big girl britches on.
and some of them you need to go, okay, this is how we're going to dig the hole, dig the way out of the hole.
Well, the biggest thing is people need to know there are programs out here ran by veteran groups. People need to know there are other people out here that support you, even though they're not veterans. There's patriots out here to support. Like we have your group, all for the 22. We have Save 22, 22 to None, 22 Too Many, Operation Combat Bike Saver, Canines for Veterans, non for profit. We have veteran groups out here, and those are the groups I just mentioned that I primarily have had dealings with that I can vouch for. I can vouch for and say, yes, that is a legitimate group. Yes, I know the people who run that. They are legitimate. And like for what I do is with the Royal Order of Reapers, we're a group of people that start off as basically a Masonic base, you know, group to have more fun outside of the lodge and, get more brothers to it. But we had to have a mission. And I said, our mission is going to be the veterans. And
Yeah.
after that, we decided, after about a year or so, we're like, you know what? We have so many non-Masonic members who want to join in with us because of our cause. We're like, you know what? Why don't we just open it up and get another patch for the Masonic members wear this patch, the non-Masonic members wear this patch. But the key thing also is one of the main requirements that's been from the get-go, you have to support our veterans. If you're not about supporting our veterans, do not join our group. And a lot of people say, well, what do you guys do? What events have you thrown? It's not about what events we throw. We go to the events and we are usually the people behind the curtains. We're taking care of stuff for the groups while they're on the forefront handling their business. We're in the background being real quiet, real shy about everything. And that's when you brought up Tom. Basically, I met Tom due to Facebook.
I love Tom.
Tom was literally doing a Facebook Live. I hit him up, went down there the first year. It was just like, oh my God, you guys showed up. Next year, we showed up, did our thing. Next year after that. But we were always behind the scenes. It's like, you need something, we got you. And then, what was it? 2018? Yeah, it was 2018 when I got presented the Founders Award. And I totally wasn't expecting that from Save 22. But he actually, brought it up and said, hey, this is the guy who's been doing everything from the shadows.
Yeah,
for
because
us.
I remember when we went up there, we'd actually been on Tom's wall for several years.
Mhm.
Steven's on Tom's wall.
Yep.
And I think he's like the third or fourth person on his wall. And I had been wanting to go out. And this was the first time we had actually been close enough where it wasn't a, 19-hour drive to get to where Tom was.
Right.
And I think what got me the best was the guys. They talked to Blake like they had served with Steven.
Mhm.
And even though I know none of them did because they were all way too young for, to have served with Steven, it was they just took Blake in because Blake wanted to soak up that bond,
Mhm.
that brotherhood of Marine.
Mhm.
And it was so seeing that, I mean, the smile on that child's face, even though, it was for a very solemn thing. You couldn't have wiped that smile off his face for nothing.
That's the only time, like I always tell people, I love the fact that people come in for the walk. I love people come for the hike. I usually stay at base camp just in case something goes south and they need something for me to back them up with something. But when I have my best time there, and I hate to say this, it's when how should I say, the part timers leave. The people who just come for the hike and leave. The people who are standing behind, relaxing, just, massaging their feet over by their trucks. When you get a ring of us around, that's when the brotherhood happens. And I've been blessed, like thrice blessed, to be a part of that as a civilian. I'm sitting here in a world where, our people, civilians, are not really welcomed because we won't understand. But here I am with Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines,
Oh
all
yeah.
hanging out. We're all sharing stories. As Lady Danny would say, we're all holding court and we're discussing things about what are we going to do next? What else can we do? Exchanging phone numbers. Glad to see you again. My house is open to you. And it's just that bond keeps rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling. And then you realize, wow, not only do I have a network now of people I can call on, I actually have brothers and sisters I can call on. And then, like I said, you have your group. So if something goes south and you might not want to talk to someone from Save 22 Direct because that's too close because you still have that pride image. So, hey, you know what?
Yeah.
I can call all for the 22. Or, hey, you know what? I can call the Reapers up. Oh, I think I might take a ride with the Leatherneck Nation with Dave Winkle from 22 to none, or I might go here. So you have options. And that's the most important thing to remind our veterans of. They have options, you know, and you don't have to, and please don't get this wrong. I'm not saying don't get medically checked out. Yes, if you need the medicine, get medicine. I'm not saying I don't
Oh
like the
no,
fact that the
we
doctors drug you up. I hate that part
we
where
are
they hand out.
100%. We are not for or against drugs. We are 100% whatever is best for you.
Right. That is the thing. Get what you got to get.
All
But on
right,
that
I'm
same
gonna
token,
hop
you're
out
not
of
alone.
here
You're
because I've
leaving.
got
All
to
right,
plug
honey.
my phone in. I got to plug my phone in, and I've got one of those phones where I can't have my headphones in if I have to
Ah,
charge.
Got you. All right, love you, baby
So
girl.
I'll be in chat. Love you.
all right. Be good.
No,
Try to just let it happen.
I'll
Don't
just
fight
let
it.
it happen.
It's easier that
Yeah,
way.
just let it happen. But yeah, I mean, and it's like that's one of the things with us is like I had someone because we do get text messages also through our line. I had somebody and they I talked to him for about 5 minutes through through text, and then I was like, well, because everybody sees the texting. Everybody who's on our who's got our app that works with us, they all get the same thing. So we went and I was like, here's my private that I use that's for just for all for the 22 business.
Mm-hmm.
I said text me there. He's like, okay. And like I kind of got the vibe of, hey, I'm active duty. And I was like, okay, so I know you probably have questions for me. What questions would you like answers to before you full blown open up? And he was like, who do you report to? And I went, no one. He's like, really? I was like, yeah. I said, we don't report. He's like, so you're not like a chaplain. I was like, have I asked your name? He's like, no. I said, 2, your unit. He says, no. And I said, 3, what branch? He says, no. I said, the only thing I know is you're a boy. And he's like, why? I said, because you mentioned the fact that you were an adult extra large in men's. I was like, huh?
So it kind of narrows it down.
I said, it kind of, might mean, I said, and then you said you wear a 32, 38. And I went, did you get those backwards? And you went, yeah, it's a 38 waist and a 32 in length. And I went, and I'm sorry, but women don't measure their pants like that.
That's true.
Well, okay. So let me answer your question, Lori. We have people that text us because they are and it's mainly men. Men find it easier to talk to someone via text. Because there's not that personal, they can kind of still leave it off. Yes, the text number when you text into the 888-484, it goes to an app that only someone from All for the 22 has. But, and it's like you can tell because usually you can tell what sex they are. I mean, pretty quick,
Oh, God
especially by
forbid
the
if you
way they're
misgender.
talking.
Don't misgender, though.
Oh no, I don't normally, because usually, like once I get them into the private, where we're talking one on one, it's
Mhm.
like, okay, so what do you go by? Because I learned very quickly not to do that. That, and
Mhm.
I've also learned that if I'm going to talk sarcastically with someone in text, usually you need to put it in parentheses that sarcasm.
Well, that's true because a lot of people can't detect the tone that you're trying to get your point across in.
Well,
Yeah.
that, and I've started putting it as like if you're talking to someone through text, because a lot of people who have Asperger's and autism do not pick up on sarcasm very easily. I've started kind of putting it like I'm talking to my nephew
Mhm.
because he doesn't pick up sarcasm very easily and he does have autism. So I'm like, okay, how would I word this if I were talking to Jasper? I do that a lot with my text messages lately. Because, like, I love Jasper to death, but that boy does not pick up on sarcasm at all. Like, he will literally start crying because he'll think I'm for real. And I'm like, dude, really? I'm smiling.
Well, you know, once again, I picked up on it.
I love Lori. Did you see what she put?
No, let me check real quick. Give me a sec. You have cute nostrils. Oh, really? Well, you can see up my nose. Is that a little too
Oh,
high for
Lord.
you? You know, I want to bring it down a little bit for you. Is that better? Should I have it like this? Better? Worse?
Oh, bring you on, Lori?
Yeah, Lori wants to come on. That's fine too.
You're just bringing them all in tonight, Mr. JP.
Well, that's because it's the watcher's point of view assisting with all for the 22.
Which we've been meaning to do this for like a year and a half now.
It's just been timing. Timing's been
Yeah.
horrid with everything that's been going on. Definitely.
Yes.
Well, you know what? And I've been trying to go live too, but I just didn't have time. And today I was working on it and I was trying to get things squared away. And then literally when I was prepping up, I saw you pop on. And I was just like, well, let me see what she's got going on. But the one thing I was going to bring up in my show, which I can bring up here in general, since it is partially dealing with suicide
Yes.
things and veterans.
We
and
talk
people in
about all
general.
of it.
Well, it's just people in general, man. My thing is people need to acknowledge people while they're still here. You know, I'm tired of people saying, oh my God, you know, she was such a good person. Oh, he was such a good man. He was a good father. He was this, she was that. She
Why
was a
are
good
we
mother."
waiting until they're gone?
They're waiting until the death of somebody and go, oh my God, you know, I remember they used to do this. You know, acknowledge that person. In general, don't, if someone enjoys something I've done, stated, whatever, you know, don't wait till I'm in the freaking ground to say, you know, he was a good guy. We all loved him, pillar of the community, friend to all. No, F that. Talk to me while I'm alive. Let's discuss that. You know, thank you. I'm modest. You know, I'm humble by that. Thank you. It's like I even talked to Tom, and Tom, you know, he is so humble. It's ridiculous, and I keep having to remind him.
Him and I are so much alike in that.
I keep telling him like,
because-
this is all because of you. Remember that this is happening because of you. You didn't do this by yourself, but you were the one who kicked it off. You had a group. You have a, you know, a great squad of people who are willing to hear where you're at. You know, be your background. And I was like, you kicked all this off. Because laying all jokes aside, the reason I reiterate that to him is because I didn't see anyone else from Save 22 at that point. All I knew was Tom. Then I knew Jason. Then I knew Albert. You know, and that's how
Yeah.
that ball rolled. You know, getting to know Marcia, JR, and the rest of the crew. Then it's like, all right, nice. You know, every time I went out there, you know, you meet a new somebody from the squad, which was awesome. But I always wanted Tom to remember this is because of you and what you believed in. You know, don't stop. And anytime I meet someone who is about business to that degree, I want them to know, don't stop. Keep going. Well, you know, I've run into this, I ran into that. Good. It's called failure, speed bump. Get over it. Keep on the mission. It's not over with.
Yeah.
Well, this happened, that happened. Stay focused.
Stay the course. Stay the course. Well, and it's like, and I'll be the first to admit it because we've had a couple of things that have, you know, threatened to derail us a couple of times. And it was just, you know, I just got to, you know, it was like that. You got a freaking, you know, a station wagon and it died while you were on, you know, over a speed bump and you're trying to get it over that speed bump.
Right.
And you got, you know, and it was like, I just didn't have anybody helping me push. And then all of a sudden Matt was on one side and Christy was on the other. And we got over that speed bump. And
You
it
just
was like,
got to.
we got to the next one, you know, and we've just, you know, finally, you know, we're getting there. And it's like, I don't know what I would do without, you know, like, you know, Furious Love Nation, Toby and Angel, and so many of the other people on TikTok. And, you know, you and I don't know if Tom does a lot, you know, telling people about us, but, you know, because I don't really talk to Tom a whole lot, but I know that you put us out there, you know, all of my volunteers put us out there. You know, it's been it's been a hard road. It's been a long road, but it's worth it because those people that we are helping, they're going to tell someone else, hey, I called them and they were there. They are true to what they say. You know, give them a call because that's the only thing that, we don't take names. We don't take phone numbers. We don't, that's not what we're about. It's not about me. It's about, my volunteers and the people that are out there.
And that's the way it should be. Um, the reason I bring up the whole thing too about acknowledging people, it is so people know that these groups are out here. Even at the end of the podcast now, I throw your guys' names out during the cast saying, here, check this out, check this out. I'm at the point now, instead of putting a bunch of names and like links in the description, I say, sometimes it's easier just to put your logos out there. And I literally did that my last one now, which was kind of crappy. My last episode I did with that fat girl Dana, we actually had an issue. Oh, that's her name. Watch the beginning episode to figure out why that came out.
Okay.
There was a reason for that she goes by that. But during our episode, we had a problem which we didn't hear. I'm talking about the way I'm talking to you now. Everything's coming out clear. I'm listening in my headphones. There's no echo, nothing. She took the chip out, got everything together to put everything in up and running, hit submit. She calls me up. She goes, "You're not going to believe what just happened." I'm like, "Oh my God, what's wrong?" She goes, "The audio sucks." Now, she is Miss.
Oh, no.
No, she's like Miss, Mac Tech IT media girl on the face of the planet. She can fix anything media, right? She is the best that I've ever met. So I'm like, oh, it can't be that bad. I figured she was just being hard on herself. For some odd reason, I couldn't figure out. I looked at my mix board, same one I'm using now to talk, and I'm looking, going, there's no echo on. This isn't on. That's not on. The effects aren't on. I'm like, what the hell happened? To this day, we still don't know what happened. We can't figure it out.
Oh, that's crazy. Can't hear you.
I said it literally started echoing. Like yours, echo, 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 echo. It was loud as hell. But we couldn't figure it out. But that's one of the things where I have your logo with the other veteran logos from like Kenneth Kuhn, Sean the veteran guy. And, he's another one, Sean the veteran guy. He is wild and he's out there. And a lot of people don't know how to handle him. And he would say to me, because he's been on my show a couple times, and I had to remind him while he was on the show, I was like, you don't have anxiety. You have a passion. It's not anxiety you're experiencing. You're just very passionate about what you're talking about.
Sorry. Lori is cracking me up with her.
What did Lori say now?
She says, I'm ready. I have my sexy nightie on. Let's do this.
Okay, that's a little bit next level. Hey, I guess if you want to help the veterans out some way.
Okay. I mean,
I'm not
maybe
hate on that.
They're questioning if their soldiers are working.
There's
yeah, and see, I tried to get Sean to do to come on live with me so that way we could talk about that. Because we're trying to set up a Veterans Day live with my husband, who is a veteran, which you've met, Matt. And they call me Toby too. He's gonna do it, and he is an Army veteran. And we were wanting to do somewhat of a round table because we want to show not only our veterans, but our male veterans. We want it to be a very strong male presence because we know that the male, men are so many times told to
we're preconditioned with ego. Yeah, it's preconditioned with ego and pride.
You're told to suck it up, to be strong, and just keep, don't talk about it. Well, that's not how it is anymore. You need to talk or you are going to implode.
That's the biggest part about it is who do you talk to in a comfortable setting? That's the main part. You have to have that comfortable setting. You have to have somebody that you can trust. You need somebody who is going to keep everything A and B, so there's not much of a back and forth of, oh, I'm opening up. Will this person go ahead and start telling my business? It needs to be a comfort area. So when you're talking about doing a live to that degree, it's going to have to be people like Sean, who has dealt with a bunch of BS. He has his book out there, Mindset 2.0. Sean does not care about talking about it. He's like, I went through it, and let me tell you why. And he'll start. I'm telling you, he
Well,
gets passionate as hell. He
and
goes, my
that's why
anxiety, it's passion.
Toby is really great. That's why Matt's really great because they've both been through all of that.
Hmm.
They're like, I do not care. My feelings are my feelings. And if you don't want to listen to them, get seven.
And you
Just
know what?
go.
And from the first time I met Sean till this current day, Sean has he's been a spiritual person, but he's never acknowledged the spirituality side of him. And I think it was our second taping that him and I did, uh, that he really said, thanks for bringing this out of me. Because I kept telling him, I was like, we all have different things that we can't explain. I said, but if you search, there are names for what you're experiencing. He's like, well, I heard this, I heard that. I said, it's part of the six clairs. I said, it's clairaudience that you're hearing. I was like, you're hearing audible, you're hearing noise, you're hearing voices. I said, don't think you're weird. I said, it's just part of what's going on. He goes, well, I'm becoming more self-aware. I said, well, clairsentience. I was like, there are six clairs. I said, and everything's like clairvoyant. It's part of what you're dealing with. I said, you just need to acknowledge it, learn more about it, and take off. And I have to say, 7 months after that, he did. He took off like a rocket. He's also on TikTok too. And I think,
Yeah.
God, what was it? In under 2 or 3 months, he already had like over 1,000 to 2,000 subscribers like that. I was
Yeah,
like, wow,
I had 1,500 in 3 weeks.
nice.
Once people started hearing what we were doing,
Hmm.
people were just because I knew Toby before we started all for the 22. I knew Toby, and I told him what I was doing, and he says, "Man, when you get it all ready, you let me know." And I was like, "Okay." And you know, I started it up, and I told him. He was like, "Well, when you start a TikTok, let me know."
Hmm.
And so I sat down with him one day, and I was telling him, and he was like, "Girl, I got you." And like it was like from get go, everybody started, once Toby put our name out there, everybody I mean, it was like, poof,
Hmm.
here we go. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I didn't expect it.
It's definitely a weird thing, TikTok. I'm not gonna lie. I actually got on there just to promote a little bit more of the watcher's point of view with different affirmations, things of that nature. Because granted, on the show we talk about anything and everything, but we did a couple of episodes about spirituality, and next thing you know, I started getting the emails and the comments sent to me privately. Please stay on this topic. Please talk more about this. You're giving us a different insight. We want to know more. I'm like, well, we're still talking about traveling. We're a bit of some foodies. They're like, no, we want to hear that too. Stay on the spiritual stuff. And I'm like, wow, is that really helping people? I'm like, is this
Um,
stuff really getting to people where they really need, or is this something I need to go forward with? And you're doing the giggles. What am I missing?
uh, Michelle was like, I totally fangirled when you came into my live, LOL.
You fangirled.
She fangirled.
She fangirled.
Yeah, Michelle is my girl. She is
Mhm.
hilarious. Now, see, I've, like ever since, because I was trying to figure out a way to get everything to meet up so that we can, we could do this. Because, like, I remember one of the things that got me with you was because you were like, because we got to talking about spirituality,
Mm-hmm.
and you had actually heard Blake talk about his dad,
Mm-hmm.
and I was really upset because I didn't get to hear it. And his dad, and Matt was stuck in traffic, so he didn't get to hear it. And like with me, you know, I was really upset about it because I didn't, I wasn't there to comfort, to be his, strong strength, and to know it was okay if you broke down and cried or whatever he needed to do. And you were like, you'd be proud of him. He did great. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
did anybody get it on tape? And like, you were like, but his dad saw. And I was like, oh, I know his dad saw. I was like, he's always with him. And you were like, how do you know that? And I was like, dude, I feel it. I know that his dad's surrounding him at all times to protect him.
I always have to ask questions like that though, because I want to verify with somebody before I open up my mouth and start talking about the spiritual stuff. Like, yeah, well, how would you know if that's going on? And then if
Well,
someone's
and
extremely
that's,
receptive, boom, now we can
yeah,
talk.
that was like, you were like, well, who do you think he's around? And I was like, he's around all three of us. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, in hell, he's around Matt too, just because he likes to annoy the piss out of him. And you looked at me and you were like, what do you mean? And I was like, he moves shit. He throws paper plates across rooms. He's like, you're like, so you think he's a menace? And I went, well, in life he was, so in death he is. And you were like,
Mm-hmm.
okay. And I'm
Oh,
like, listen, you don't have to believe me. I
no,
believe
I
me.
here's the thing. I believe you. It's very few people that I can talk about energy with and how death is not the final. It is a crossing over to another spiritual level of existence or another plane of existence where we are only inhabiting these bodies for a small period of time, you know, and then we're going to go off into a different life form or a style of living, which is energy, spiritual, whatever you want to call it. But, you know, it's not something you just dive into with someone because that's a deep dive.
Yeah.
That's like
Well,
that's a point of view where you have to sit there and be like, before we discuss this, are you open to this?
and a lot of people, they think I'm full of shit because I can feel people, because like not not alive, dead people. Like my sister Christy, they lived with us for a little while,
Mm-hmm.
and like there's this little girl that constantly is around one of my nephews. Like, I'm serious, she hangs around him all the time. She doesn't want to hurt him. She doesn't want to, she wants to play with him. And like my husband likes to scare her cats. Like, he will literally leave, like he'll leave me and my family alone to go scare her cat and hide her car keys, and then he comes back over here to hide our car keys and stuff. But like people hear me saying that kind of stuff and they're like, you're full of it. And I'm like, okay, then how would you explain my 17-year-old son sound the fuck asleep talking to his dad? Well, that's dreams. Well, when are we most open? When are
Oh,
our minds the most open?
it's
When we're
definitely
asleep.
during the first half of your going to sleep and the first half of you waking up. You're in your highest state of consciousness where your dreams, if you know what you're doing, dreams, how should I put it? Dreams that you remember or dreams that are extremely vivid that you remember aren't dreams. Sometimes that's you actually having moments in other realms, or like some people like to call it because they've used this generic term now, multiverse, which I'm not totally down with that terminology. But the spiritual realm, cool, because it's still general, it's still generic enough. But it is a different plane of consciousness that you're on. And if you keep getting some of the same messages, I mean, not same messages, but the same dreams and you're remembering them, a lot of times those are messages. Sometimes you have to weed out the Alice in Wonderland Matrix crap from it. But once you do that, what's left behind is the truth.
Well, and like, so if somebody were to have told me this a few years ago, like 5 years ago, that I would be doing this, I would have called him a liar because for like, I want to say probably 5 months in a row, I kept having the same dream that, I was going to be doing something, and it was going to involve a helpline, and I was going to have all these volunteers, and I was going to be running it. It was going to be my show, basically my circus. But it's like, it was going to be for Steven and it was going to be for Matt. But Matt was
Mhm.
still in the military all that time ago. So I didn't think, I was like, no, no,
Well, look
no.
at you now.
And now here I am and I'm going, okay, Steven, what the hell? And now I'm going, okay, well, he's now telling me future. Can you tell me what the damn lucky numbers are so I can go put it on a damn card?
I think we
You know?
all would like that right about now. Yeah, get that 500 and some odd, was it 560 mil? Let's say about 445 mil after taxes. Yeah, I'm not going to complain if I got a hold of that. Yeah,
I'm like, can you give me the winning numbers?
I don't think any of us would complain about that.
Yeah.
But
He
I got to
just
check
keeps.
the chat here because people are like doing messages and I haven't
Oh
looked
yeah.
yet.
And see, Christy, and that's what the weird part is. I kept telling Christy that my nephew, he's got a girl that hangs around him, and my nephew's got the same birthday as I do, so I'm exceptionally like close to him. And she like literally was like, no, 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 and I'm like, yes, there's a little girl that that's there with him, like she's there with him, and she keeps evil spirits away from him, and like blah 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 blah. And she's like, no, no. I'm like, don't tell me no.
Well, don't forget, a lot of times people are speaking out of fear of the unknown.
No, she's not afraid of it. She just wasn't sure, what to do with it. Christy's not afraid of that. Trust me. There have been times when she's going, could you please tell Steven to give me back my keys?
Well, don't forget, though, if you're talking about spirituality on that level with her, that's probably a comical thing. When you start talking about other weird crap happening that's probably not associated with family, that'll make you a little bit uneasy.
Well, and the thing about it with her,
Mm.
her, fine and dandy. She's good. Her kids, as long as but she'd never had that open conversation with her son. So like he was in the room when I was telling her about this.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like conversations that he'd had with her kind of started lining up.
Mm.
And it was like, wait a minute. It was like one of those mic drops, for her.
Right.
And like she was like, okay, come here, Penny. We need to go have this conversation. And that's when, she was like, did you know Liam was a twin? And I was like, no. So that's who that little girl is. Oh, okay. And so it's like making two things meet up. And
Well,
like Christy knows she's got people that follow her all the time.
mm-hmm.
And like she knows that my late husband is one of those that goes, you but nothing can happen to you because my wife will lose her shit. You
Well,
are
you know what?
part of the
I
glue.
believe that. I really believe that.
And I mean, like, we have a ghost that sits in the closet with Steven that follows my husband around.
Hello?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Still there?
Yeah.
Can you see me?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Lost the mic here.
No, you didn't. I can hear you just fine.
Okay, I lost my mic.
See?
Let's try
He just
this
had to
again.
say
One
something,
sec
Christy.
here.
Now Steven's fucking with him.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. I've been able to hear you
can
this whole
hear me, but I
time.
can't hear you for some odd reason. Of course, why would it hear that spiritual crap right now?
See,
Right.
Steven
Let
just
me
went,
try
oh,
something.
you
I'll
want
be
to talk
right
shit to
back.
my wife? Oh, he's fingering my face. I'm telling you, that was Steven going, see? You thought she was full of shit. I'm telling you, Christy, ta-da! He's coming back, Lori. Jeez Louise. Maybe. End the stream. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Me and Christy, see. Okay, so I have to let everybody in on this. So Christy and I many times will get into conversations on Facebook Messenger, and we'll be
Mhm.
on cam with each other, and we'll get to talking about like Steven, and my husband has a entity attached to him who is his protector. My current husband. They've known each other since they were very young. He actually died in my husband's arms. And my husband did not realize that he was attached to him until he got married, till him and I got married. And I looked at him and I went, Matt, who is Eddie? And my husband stopped mid stride, did an about face, looked at me and went, how the fuck do you know that name?
Mhm.
And I went, he's standing there.
Mhm.
And he was like, how old does he look? And I said, about 15, 16.
Mhm.
He says, how do you know that? I went, well, because he said my name's Eddie. And he was like, and he walked back into the bedroom and like shut the door, would not let me in. And he was like, you're a witch. And I went, no, I'm not a witch. I could just see things.
Well, technically, people would describe you as being a witch anytime you're empathic
And
or
he
can
was
see
like,
anything.
what, are you looking at it through your left eye? Because everybody knows I'm blind in my left eye. And he's like, what? You can see things with your left eye that you can't see with your right one? And I'm like, do not make fun of me, you jackass.
Ooh, ouch.
I was like, stop your shit. And like, he was like, he opens the door and like, I could tell he'd been, crying a little bit. And
Mhm.
he was like, nobody has said that name to me since I was 16. And I was like, well, okay. I said, I need to tell you something. And he's like, what? And I said, it wasn't your fault. And he was like, what wasn't my fault? And he says, what wasn't my fault? I said, his death. And he was like, thank you. And he sat
Mhm.
down and like we sat down he went straight to the floor right then and there. And he was like, how do you know all this? And I was like, because he told me. I didn't know I was wrong. Like I'm sitting there bawling, and he's like, you're not wrong, but thank you. He says, does he follow me? And I went, everywhere we go. I went, he has been with us now in 3 different houses, and I think he went to Afghanistan with you. So he's your buddy.
And I believe that wholeheartedly because even when I do paranormal investigations, I'm like the Chip Coffee of the group, who in the John Edwards of the group. I have like this much information about the location we're at, and I would sit there and tell people things that not were actually happening in the house, but things that happened prior to whatever so-called activity they had, because things start from here and then get to here.
Yeah.
So it was weird at first, even when I started doing paranormal investigations, which I still do from time to time. And it's very weird that I want to say for about I think it was about 7.5 months straight, every investigation we did had zero to do with paranormal. And a lot of the activity that they were experiencing was the energy that they were bringing up in the house themselves. I had one young lady that I remember who, her and her mom were at odds with each other. No one knew that at the time. But when we got in the house, I sat down and just looked around, took a couple deep breaths, and then I started seeing different things that were going on in the house and names that were told. And I started just nailing them with locations, names, where things were at in the house. Now, mind you, I didn't do a tour of the house, so I couldn't tell you what was located where. But when you start telling someone, here, open this game that you have this, this, and this underneath it that you're trying to hide from your mom, and you did this, this, and this during this time. Also, mom, you're no saint either because why don't you tell your daughter about this, this, this? And the next thing you know, it
Yeah.
was like, I'm like, well, don't challenge me on stuff. This is not. Let's see how much he can really pick up. Because my thing is, you want to know something, you want to see if I'm real. Okay. And the next
Well,
thing
and
you know, you're
that's
telling them some heavy stuff, and they're like, "Oh, well, maybe we didn't want that out. Well, shouldn't have been talking shit."
yeah. Well, then you shouldn't have been hiding it and shouldn't have been talking your crap. And I
Yeah.
think that's the hardest thing for like we had, I haven't been telling a whole lot of people, but we got Steven's autopsy results back this week,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to share it with my kids over the weekend. Share it with Joey over the weekend,
Mm-hmm.
and we all had, some things came up that brought 3-year-old Joey back for,
Right.
and Joey has tried very, very hard to bury the memories that he had
Mm-hmm.
from 3-year-old Joey. And like it unblocked a couple of those because it, he, one of the things that was told in the paperwork was, you know, where his dog tags were found.
Mm-hmm.
And my son went, no, that's wrong. That is not where they should have been found. If they were on my dad, they should have been found here instead of there. And I looked at him and I went, how do you know that? And he was like, because that's where dad always wore them because I would hang on them to get his attention. And I'm like, how do you remember that? I thought you didn't remember anything about your dad. He says, I don't know. I said, now did dad tell you that or do you remember that? And he says, I remember.
And that's 3.
And he was 3. And
Yeah,
I
most
said,
of us don't have collective memory until 4.
well, there are certain things that are emotional memory. And that was for him was emotional memory because his dad was his best friend.
And see, that's what I'm trying to say is like, if he's
Yeah.
picking up on that and has a vivid image of it, like, oh, this is definitely something that happened. Like I
This
said,
is
most of us
something
don't
I
have
was holding on to.
exactly because most of us truthfully don't have it until 4.
And like for him, and this was what was really hard for, for us is because I told him that I filed for them and we were talking about it and which talking about Steven has always been my dad.
Mm.
And he hasn't called him daddy since he was probably 5, 6 years old.
Mm.
And he looked at me and he says, so my daddy did love me. And like my eyes went bing,
Right.
because he hasn't called him daddy, since he was very, very young. So essentially 15 years.
Mm.
And I was like, it was like 3-year-old Joey was coming out because he's been burying him down for so long. And, and I'm one of those. I do believe that, when you've gone through a trauma like that so very young, it's an emotional thing because his dad was his best friend at that time.
Mm.
Or at least the closest thing you have to a best friend at 3, and
Mm.
like, you know, somebody said, oh, well, if Joey's having memories, then Blake should, no, 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 no. Blake was 2 months old. There ain't no memories to be had in that Rolodex yet because it wasn't even a Rolodex yet. That Rolodex was not even, put together. It was all in pieces, still in the box,
Right.
and they're like, he's, like he remembered. He says, Mama, he says, I need to ask you something. And I'm like, okay. He says, my whoopee. And I'm like, okay. He says, was it blue, white, and green? And I said, well, which one? He says, the one I gave dad. And I went, yeah. He's like, I remember that. He says, it was my favorite whoopee. Why did I give that to him? I said, because daddy was cold. He says, that's right, because I kissed his forehead and he was cold. Why do I remember that? And I went, emotion? Because, once he started remembering that one little thing about,
Mm-hmm.
that came out, he started having other emotional ties, that were coming out. And he's like, make them stop. And I'm like,
Mm.
I wish I could. I don't know what pulled the damn fire, pulled the fire alarm on it.
And the thing is, you really can't shut that off. Um,
Until
because
it's run its course.
That's part of it. The other half of it is too, if you have a spiritual connection to something or that energy connection, it's energies you can't be destroyed. Right. So it's kind of one of those things where you got to ride it out, get to understand it. You're cackling over there again. What?
Oh, I'm not cackling.
You
I'm
did the face cackle.
understanding.
You face
No,
cackled.
I was understanding because like her Michelle's son Richard tried to close the mom's casket because she liked to sleep in the dark.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
you know I kind of
Classic.
I understand that
Respect.
like with Joey and Steven's casket, he was buried in full dress blues.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was trying to take his blanket and put it over the dress blues and tuck it around him
Mm-hmm.
because daddy was cold. And the Marines were like, no, we can't do that. And I said, well, by God, you can fold it up and put it above his head, but before you close that casket, you're going to wrap it around him.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, and I will stand here and watch you do it. I scared the living shit out of those poor Marines, but I watched
I'm
them do
wondering why
it.
the Marines would have a problem with that. It's like you got a whoopee because if you don't have a whoopee, you would be cold.
Yeah,
So give
well,
it a fold and do what you got to do.
and like I understood that they couldn't do it while, all the pomp and circumstance up into, they wanted him to look like a perfect little Marine. Okay, got you, whatever. But when it came time to close that casket, that whoopee was going to be over that Marine. Nobody
Mm-hmm.
else had to see him but, Jesus and, the top of that casket.
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't need to be the perfect, well balanced Marine after that. And I watched them as they put that blanket over it, over him.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, why is it such a big deal? I said, because his son wanted him to have it.
Wow, why is it such a big deal? Hmm.
And I just, yeah, and that, to me, that just sound, I don't think they realized
Let
I
me
had
adjust here.
heard them. But it's like, dude, if that was your father, wouldn't it be a big deal to you?
Well, it's just out of respect for the family, man. If there's not like a problem with it, just do what you got to do. It's no big deal.
Well, and the thing about it is the whole funeral was a sham. It was just, oh, it was horrible. All the way from the flight out there, all the way up to, flying back and getting to Lejeune. It was a freaking sham show. It was awful. And like, I don't know how many times I threatened to kick the first sergeant's gonads up to his throat. It
Pretty
took
stiff kick.
it took 5 people to hold me in my chair at the graveside so that I didn't like absolutely throw him in on top of Steven and just start shoveling the dirt. He told me okay, this is how bad it was. He pulled me aside at the funeral home, put his hand on my shoulder, and told me to not cause a scene at the graveside because this was harder on him than it was on me.
I'm going to reserve comment right now. I'm going to definitely reserve comment because that's a good way to get your ass whooped, old school style.
My brothers, yeah, exactly, Tiffany. My
Oh, I
brothers were
gotta see that
holding,
comment. Hold on.
and she says, "Excuse me."
Yeah. Excuse me.
Michelle's like, "What the actual fuck?" Yeah, I
Mhm.
I sat and smoked half a pack of cigarettes before I got in the car because we weren't smoking with the kids in the car. We got we actually drove the 25 miles to the graveside, and before we got there, I got out of the car and I like quick smoked another 2 cigarettes, got the kids out, and my friends were like, "We got the kids." Because like they had been really good about making sure that I could deal with my emotions
Mhm.
because the boys were just like Blakey was too little to understand it. Joey was like, what the hell's going on?
Mhm.
Oh, Uncle Brian. That's all he cared about. Uncle Brian. Uncle Danny. All of my uncles are his Marine Corps uncles and his real uncles, everywhere. And so I didn't have to worry about the kids for this part. But I tell you what, I had one brother on each knee, I had one brother on each shoulder, and I had a sister-in-law on each of my hands,
Mm.
holding me in that chair so that I didn't launch out of that damn chair and hit that man.
Yeah, that would have made a scene, though. Let's be honest. No,
Oh,
you can't just sit there and like spearhead him into the freaking grave. All
I would
all hell
have.
would have broke loose on that one.
Oh, I would have.
People see you do that, they're like, damn. I don't believe she just did it.
Oh, and the weirdest thing about it all is because the only people who knew what he said were my family.
Mm.
And like Steven's family, she was already a freaking mess. His mother was already a mess.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I am going to do my best to remain calm. And like my brothers were, like sitting there acting like they were, calming me down, keeping me from. Oh yeah, like they were being my support system right then because he was handing me the flag.
Right.
And they're like acting like that I'm crying massively, and I was crying, but it wasn't because I was upset. It was because I was downright fucking mad.
I wonder why.
He handed me the flag, and my brother said, "Now get out of her face before we have to let go."
Well, he gave him a valid warning.
First sergeant,
that was a disclaimer. So yeah.
First sergeant literally hauled ass back to his car. I've never seen a man run in uniform as fast as he did.
It's like boot camp. He'll be fine. But he gave him a disclaimer, so it was fine.
He got the disclaimer.
Fair warning.
And like it was hilarious because the guys who escorted Steven's body back to Texas didn't ride with First Sergeant. They came and got in the van with me and my family.
There you go.
Because they were people I knew. And oh my Lord, they looked at me and they said, he did not say what I think he said.
Yes, he did.
And I went, yes, he did. He says, please, dear God, do not let him be at the after burial. Because, good old
repass, boy. Yeah.
Yeah. Let him not be there. By the time we got there, because we were behind, we were the first ones into the cemetery, so we were behind everybody. Because it's one of them good old out in the middle of nowhere Texas cemeteries.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody had to, back out the way that they got in. Oh my Lord. Yeah, see, Michelle knows what I'm talking about. If you had more than four cars at the funeral, it was a standstill. Everybody had to flip a U-E and try to get out of there. And I'm right behind the hearse. So, by the time I got to my mother-in-law's house, he was long gone.
Mm-hmm.
And my mother-in-law was like, well, he didn't eat anything. I said, that's because he's damn well terrified right now. I got back to the hotel. He had already checked out, taken his rental car, and headed for frickin' Dallas.
Well, now.
I was like, what a coward.
Well, let's see. You threatened to slam his genitals to his throat. You wanted to spearhead him into a grave, throw dirt on top of him. I don't know. That sounds like legitimate reason to get the hell out. I wouldn't call that cowardness. I would call that strategic retreat.
Oh, but it's yeah, Christy, I agree. That's because he's chicken shit.
No, I'm not saying that he isn't, but I'm trying to be more passive about the statement of.
Well, see, he didn't have to worry about me. He didn't have to worry about me.
Well, you're just got there talking about giving him the bad touch in a special no-no spot, and yeah, okay, that's something to worry about.
No, he didn't have to worry about me because I had to go into the unit when I got back to Camp Lejeune because the people that were there to fold the flag didn't fold it correctly because it didn't fit into the neat little sheet, thing they gave me. And Chief Warrant Officer, which was his commanding officer, asked me how it went, and I told him what happened. I've never heard rubber boots stomp on concrete before, but I did that day.
Mm-hmm.
And I have never heard someone yell through steel doors until that day.
Well, if it's a Marine, of course you're going to hear that. That's, they get that
I
proud
have
voice.
never heard that. I had never heard that man yell.
Mhm.
Like, never. Like, I almost stood at attention.
Get that knife hand ready for you.
Oh, God. I almost stood at attention and was scared for my life. I almost shit my pants.
Wow,
Because
acting like a
it was,
recruit, huh?
oh, my God. Like, I was, like, scared for myself. And, oh, Lord.
Yeah, we got some comments here. Let me check these.
I'm gonna think, oh, yeah.
So
Yeah,
put
everything's
those-
bigger in Texas except for the parking at cemeteries. God, ain't that right?
Oh yeah, you like that one, huh? Yeah, Misha liked that one. Michelle liked that.
But
Let me
yeah,
bring the hand up. The knife hand. Sorry, I had to holster that. My bad.
yes, it's just, oh my gosh, it was awful. And of course, my children, they know me because they know me now. If I get mad, oh heaven, help it, because my anger is 10 times worse than it was then.
They have gummies for that.
I can't. I'm allergic to those things. Trust me. Christy keeps trying to give me some.
Bad girl.
No, she knows they'd be good for my temper and a few other things.
So what? The CBD is actually bad for you?
I'm allergic to CBD, THC, and a couple of other things that's in them. I can't even be around hemp oil.
Yeah, you're all sorts of fucked up behind that then.
Oh, I am screwed because like they would help out with my I actually my pain management doctor said that they'd be great for my I have a what is the name? Neuropathy in my right leg,
Mm-hmm.
and they said it'd be great for it, but I can't use it.
So
Yes,
no, we'll just
Michelle,
give
we
you
get
some.
to keep him.
So we'll give you some Oxy, some Norcos,
No,
and we'll
I'm
give
on
you all this other
gabapentin
stuff.
3 times a day.
Oh, you're fine now. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, no, they had me on they were gonna give me injections in my back and like they were gonna do some kind of like treatment on my right side of the nerve endings,
Mm-hmm.
like burn them. The problem is they did they had to do some medication and it would they put it in there to see if it was going to work. And well, when they did the second one, it caused my hoo-ha to go completely numb.
Okay, I don't think anybody was expecting to hear that right now on All for the 22. But go ahead.
I know.
We're about
We're
being,
talking about it.
straight up and yeah. Okay.
And we decided that wasn't going to happen anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I got the the electrolysis part of it and that what happened? No. I felt everything down my leg, but that was numb.
I bet you
Not
did.
happening.
I
Sorry,
bet
but
you
I
did.
kind of want feeling there. I'd like to be able to do, certain things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Not your kink. I get it. Yeah, I get it.
Hey,
Well, it just says not your kink. You're talking about
I'm
like.
not talking hey with you. I'm talking hey with Lori.
Oh God, let me see.
It's
Lori, hey JP, she was talking about her hoo-ha. I knew what she was talking about. I didn't think she said hoorah or oorah. No, I didn't think about that.
No, he knows.
When she said it like that, I was like, okay,
I'm
don't
keeping
think
it
they
very
wanted to know about
PG.
that on All for 22 today, but
Oh,
okay.
everybody who has been on All for the 22 knows me. I'm very blunt.
Oh, obviously so. It's yeah.
Yeah, ablation is no fun. So yeah, I just went nope. That and you don't want me on oxys because I'm way too much of a lightweight.
You want to talk about lightweight? I actually had a knee injury a few years back. Had a minor MCL tear. Off duty for 6 months. Is what it is. I went to my doctor. My doctor's like, okay, let's touch your knee here. And I literally shot out of the examination bed and was hopping on one foot. The doctor looked at me and goes, are you okay? I was like, yeah, I'm totally fine. I'm just hopping
I'm
around on one
great.
foot and, you know,
I'm wonderful.
yeah. And he goes, oh,
This
your
is
pain.
my happy dance.
Right. He goes, your pain tolerance right now is like, it's pretty effing low. He goes, okay, well, we're going to put you on Oxy. I'm like, excuse me? I was like, can we not go there? He goes, okay, then we'll put you on Norco. I'm like, all right, well, okay, that's tolerable. Next thing you know, I go to the pharmacy to pick up my prescription. It's 90 freaking pills, and I'm looking, going, I know I'm 6'4". All right, I'm a big boy at 6'4", but I'm like, yeah. And I figured the pain I was in, one isn't gonna hurt me, right? So I took one. About 15 minutes later, I was out like a light. Okay. Now,
You have zero pain medication tolerance.
zero tolerance. So I woke up about 12 and a half hours later. All right. So feeling in pain again. I'm like, oh, look, there's sunlight. Take another one. I'm out again. So I woke up to use the bathroom, get something in my stomach, take another pill, and basically went back to bed again. So now this is going on my third time. I said there's not going to be a fourth time on this because I actually started losing track of days. Because even though the sun was up, I thought it was the next day by day 3. I was really out of it. I was like, what the actual F? So no big deal. I have to go back in for my examination now. I tell the doctor, hey, Norco, way too strong. Well, I gave you the strongest dosage. You said your leg was in pain. I was like, yeah, it was a lot of pain. I said, I don't do obscene amount of narcotics. Contrary to what you might believe that we do in our field, not me, no. I said, I'm Mr. Herbal Man. You know, I will sit there and,
He says, call my bluff.
you know, I was just like, it was bad. You
Your
know,
doctor literally said, call my bluff, bitch.
real talk, because I was in pain though. And I told him, I said, can we reduce this down to next level? He goes, okay, no problem. I'm like, all right, cool. And he's like, you really are sensitive to narcotics. It's like, oh, I am highly, highly sensitive. That's, I'll drink tea and do everything over the counter and home remedies, old voodoo witchcraft stuff from the family prior to coming to see you. He goes, oh, okay. So gives me another script, another 90. I'm like, dude, what the hell? Do you think I just leave it alone? Because doctors are going to just use my insurance. They don't give a damn. So took one of those bad boys. I'm like, this is decent. I can still function. 35 minutes later, I'm out like a light. Normal sleeping pattern now. A normal sleeping pattern. So I was good for a good 8 hours. I was like, okay, I can kind of finagle this and work it out. Until that pain hit again after I came back from therapy. So they're like, you can take 2. And I was only taking 1. Right. So I was like, this pain had hit from therapy. The ice isn't working. I'm like, let me just hit 2 of these bad boys. And I had the same reaction again, being out for 12 hours. So that wasn't going to happen. Go back for my examination again. Doc, stop jerking me around here. Give me the base like this. Like you had me here. Get me right here. I want the little guy. Give me.
I want the little bitty one.
Yeah, give me that. Just enough to take the edge off.
I want the baby aspirin.
I can't take aspirin. Anything with naproxen or
but I'm
Proxen.
saying you want baby aspirin.
Oh yeah, I want lower than that. So go back in. Doc's like, well, we can't give you anything really lower than what we have now. Oh, okay. I was like, well, about T3? That's, Tylenol 3. That's usually, well, I don't know if that'll be good enough. I think it's like, dude, it's not in your bloodstream. Let me do me. So I was like, okay, whatever. Give me the script. Never got it filled. I went back to the old school methods because now my leg's feeling better, number 1. Number 2, I still have this other script. So my thing is like, I'll just take half of one if the pain gets really bad. But nothing beats a good bottle of Buffalo Trace, I'll tell you that much, and some ice. Buffalo Trace, that's what I did. I did not do any of my meds because I couldn't drive. I couldn't drive anywhere, because I was just literally unable to. It was too painful to drive. You know, I had to drive myself to my appointments and stuff. But when I was at home, make me a little Buffalo Trace, sip on it. I was good. I was good, and then I could sleep like a normal human being. You know, versus
You're
all the other crap they
horrible.
had me on. Oh, all the crap they had me on. Oh my god, I was missing days. I was slack-eyed, silly face, lethargic. You know,
See, and that's what people they don't understand with
I
me.
had one of those moments. You know,
Well, and it's like I scared the shit out of Michelle the other day. Oh my god. Cuz
okay, hold on. We got 9 chats here. What do we miss?
well, I got a hold of some coconut, which I am very allergic to coconut. Like I was
Note to
going
self.
through my throat was starting to lock up, you know. So my son gave me some Benadryl. 6 Benadryl for me is like water. Not a big deal because
You
I
went
take
9 didn't you?
no,
You put you to
and
sleep with that.
no, it does not. I can take, and this is what's the funny part about it, okay? So I took 6 Benadryl, no big deal.
Mm.
Bye, Lori.
Bye,
I
Lord.
took, I took 6 Benadryl, and then my alarm, like 30 minutes later, my alarm went off saying I needed to take my night meds. I didn't think anything of it until I took them and I got them down. And I realized that in my nighttime meds, there are 4 Benadryl and 2 Tylenol PM. So I took 11 Benadryl basically in the span of 30 minutes. I send a text to my son, who I thought was my husband. Okay, Joey was home this weekend. So I sent a message to Joey, who's sitting next to my husband. And I said, how many Benadryl would it take for someone my size to OD? And Matt comes back here and he says, why?
It's not funny, but
And I went, well, because Joey gave me 6, and then my alarm clock went off to take my night meds, which, by the way, you need to take yours, honey. And he's like, okay, why? I said, and then I took my night meds. And he says, you put 4 in your night meds, and then there's 1 in the Tylenol, you know, between the 2 Tylenol PM. And I went, yeah. He says, and how many did Joey give you? I went, 6. He went, okay, so I'm going to do a little test with you. How long ago was this? And I went, I just did it. And he went, like, did you text me before you did it? Or did you do it and then realize you did it and text Joey? I went, I took them and then realized, oh, shit. And then, you know, and he was like, so are you feeling sick? And I went, no. He says, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to turn on your breathing. Oh, God, I was straight laughing. I really was. I was laughing while talking to Michelle because, like, the Benadryl was kicking in, so I was slap happy. So, like, I was at that phase where I'm, like, kind of drunk, kind of high. You know what I mean? You know that stage where you're kind of high and
I wouldn't know
not
about that stage, no, but
well,
I
okay,
understand what you're
drunk where you're
discussing.
not feeling any pain.
No, I don't know that stage neither, but I am well aware of people who have experienced that and what they look like during that time. Yes.
Well, okay, I also in my night meds take a gabapentin and an amitriptyline
Jesus Christ.
plus a Topamax plus a Keppra. So I am not feeling anything from toes to top of my head. Ain't nothing like happy. I am fucking ecstatic. I am just like, oh yeah. See, Christy knows me. The only time I get that happy is usually I've been in the ER because I had a seizure and they've given me Dilaudid because I got a headache. So I am sitting there and like I'm talking to Michelle and I'm like, I need somebody to talk to me. Oh, I'm sorry, Michelle.
Yeah, I forgot she was in the room.
Yeah, Michelle's in the room and yeah, so like I took my that's my bedtime routine, by the way. My bedtime routine is 4 Benadryl, an amitriptyline, a Keppra, a Topamax, 2 Tylenol PM. That's my nighttime routine. So, oh yeah, that'll be a story for when I get off of here. But I was not feeling any pain, so I set my watch to check my O2 stats, and and like if anything ventured to a certain level, it was gonna send Matt, hey, you need to go check on your wife. I'd already fixed it up before I'd gotten to mood,
Mm-hmm.
The problem was I couldn't get my brain to shut off. And that's where my insomnia, that's why I have to take Benadryl and Tylenol to go to bed, because
I
those
get
are
you.
what knocks me down. Well, I'm sitting there and my amitriptyline finally came up and went V8, go to sleep, bitch. And I finally fell asleep. My husband came in at like 2:00 in the morning. He was like, Penny, you have never slept that soundly in my entire life. He was like, I had to literally move you to your side of the bed.
Nice.
I was like, you're kidding me, right? He was like, no. It was
That's where I say
hilarious.
he slap you in the back of the neck. You're just like, go to sleep.
Yeah, he's like, usually I like have to, smack you to sleep. Because usually I'm still in here awake.
So he smacks you to sleep. That's agreed upon, correct? That's like,
Yeah.
You have the hold harmless agreement and everything. It's not domestic
Now,
related. He
we've
gets to
both
slap
decided.
you.
We both decided.
I'm just
I
curious.
have to slap him awake to go to school in the mornings. So he gets to slap me and tell me it's time for bed.
Okay, so it's consensual slapping. Both
Yeah.
parties are agreeing to it. This is non-domestic related. Okay,
Yeah,
just
but
I want to
Christy
verify
says,
that
ooh,
right now.
baby.
Right, I just want to verify that for the other listeners that they don't think
I mean,
you guys are just domestic battering each other. That
no,
this is
we're
totally
not
consensual.
domestic. We both agreed on it before,
Consent,
beforehand.
non-consent. We got it.
It's like, what was it? One time we agreed that I was allowed, if he wasn't going to take his nighttime meds, I was allowed to crush him up and put him in his soda. Because for a while,
Legal roofing. Okay.
yes, it was because for a while he would not take his meds,
Mm-hmm.
and if he was taking them, he was waiting until like 1 a.m, and then not getting up till noon the next day. Well, his first class is at 8 a.m.
Oh, I
What
get
good
you.
is that going to do him?
I'm still can't get over that you just, your husband agreed to being roofied up. That's cool.
Well, Christy knows how he is.
Oh, so she's aware of the roofing. So she's
Oh no,
actually
she didn't. She wasn't aware that he agreed to let me do that.
Oh, okay. I was like, that's an accomplice to your.
Oh no, she laughed hysterically because I was like, "Hey, little boy, want a glass of soda?" It was hilarious.
Feeling a tad uncomfortable right now, but it's okay.
Hey, you do what you got to do in order to do it.
I don't judge. That's
It's kind of like
point
getting
of
your
view.
kids to take that medicine that tastes nasty.
Yeah, two different things. Kids
Yeah,
need to take the
exactly,
medication,
Michelle.
and you
No
doing the
kink
roofing.
shaming.
I don't kink shame. I far from kink shame. It's just that, hey, I just want to make sure that anyone else watching this knows that it's totally consensual.
Yes.
And that these two know what's going on, and that they don't sit here and go, "Oh my God, Penny roofies her hubby on the regular."
Oh no, it's 100% consensual.
Because how people get there
You'd
like,
still be married to me.
well, he would still be married to you. He wouldn't be aware of it. That's why I had to make sure it's consensual prior to all this
Oh
drugging.
no, him and I, he laughs about it now.
Now he finds it funny.
No, at first he was like, why did he? At first, because some meds they taste really weird.
I wouldn't know that, but okay.
Oh well,
I'll go by what
I
you say.
I forgot, Mister. Doula Obi-Wan Kenobi over there.
Don't hate.
Dude, I wish I could do that kind of shit. I can't. Like, ever since getting diagnosed, I I think that has been the worst part of my mental health. You know, the worst part of the falling of my mental health
Mhm.
is when, because we found out about the discs in my back
Mhm.
right after I had Joey. You know, because this wasn't anything new. You know, it's been 20 years in the making, and
Mhm.
they told me, oh, if you lose weight, it'll all solve itself.
And you
Oh, it's
believed him.
because I moved it. I don't know what I called Christy. If I called him that, that's funny as hell. But is that better, Michelle? But like you know, I didn't. It wasn't like it was something that just snuck up on me, and then all of a
Mhm.
sudden, wham! You know, I was in sudden pain. You know, I knew that I had problems, and then they said, "Oh, well, if you lose weight, it'll all fix itself." Well, I lost 210 pounds. How much more weight do I need to lose, fuckers, before this will fix itself?
That needs to be commended because losing that kind of weight in what? Do that in a year or 2 year time?
I lost that in 18 months.
That
You know, I mean,
that's
and
dedication, boy. You were really putting the work in.
like my husband came home from Afghanistan and I had lost 90 pounds in
Mhm.
the 9 months he'd been over there. So that was 10 pounds a month. And like, you know, after 18 months, I'd lost 210 pounds. And it was like, you know, and then we got out here. I bent over the sink to wash my hair out in the sink and my back locked up.
Mm.
And it was like, what the hell?
Mm.
And literally, the doctor said that being pregnant with both of my boys pushed where my discs were about to rupture over into the sciatic nerve that goes down my right leg.
Mm.
And I was like, are you kidding me?
Information I just love to receive, Doc. Thanks. Anything else to give me?
You know, and I'm looking at him going, okay, so what do we do now? Well, you need to be put on permanent pain management.
That's automatically boom pain
Yeah,
management.
automatically was permanent pain management.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay. He says, because I'm going to tell you right now. He says there is no physical therapy that's going to solve this.
Hmm. Did you get a second opinion?
Yeah, the second opinion was like, yeah, there's no physical therapy because I had been through physical therapy the first round, and if it would have stayed front to back the way that it was
Hmm.
when I was first injured, they could have corrected it with physical therapy because it would have evened back out and to where it wasn't at that rupture point.
Do you have a third opinion of
Well, the
anybody?
problem is now because
Hmm.
I am 45, those discs are not as pliable as they were.
Hmm.
But I don't take narcotics. You know, gabapentin, yes, it's a controlled substance, but it's not a narcotic.
Well, cannabis is still labeled a Schedule One narcotic, so
Yeah.
go figure.
And you know, with the gabapentin, I'm on the lowest dose that they can possibly prescribe me.
Hmm.
I've not asked to go up any. Um, the doctors are actually my neurologist is actually trying to figure out, you know, if they can do something to help me because it is my nerves, you know, and I'm like, I don't know how my brain is gonna fix my nerves that are shooting weird,
Hmm.
but whatever. And honestly, I'm at the point where right now it's not terrible. I just can't walk for long distances without going, okay, is my knee going to go out or are we going to keep going? You know, because
Yeah, I know
that's
that
what it
feeling.
does.
I've been there before. Especially, I've had injuries to both of my knees, and walking around with a cane from time to time, as well as knee braces. And it is funny how you'll sit there and you'll walk normally, then all of a sudden you'll feel just a slight twinge, and next thing you know, you go into overly cautious mode. Next thing you know, you're taking one step at a time. Like you put your foot on a step, put your next foot up, match it up, next foot up, match up instead of going boom, boom, boom. You're just going dum, dum,
Oh
dum,
yeah.
dum.
And the worst thing about it is with me, I have, I will feel just a little bit of a twinge and I have to do it on flat surfaces.
Mm,
It's not even just going upstairs, it's flat surfaces. And what makes it even worse, and this is so hilarious, is because I fell on my left knee. Because if I fall on my right knee, uh it was no go. Because my right knee already comes out from underneath me with the neuropathy. So it was like I stepped down on something and in the dark in my room, and
mm.
it was one of probably Matt's shoes. And I stepped down and it tripped me, and I put all of my body weight right down on my left knee, and I had to have somebody look at it. And now I have to wear a brace when we are going to be walking longer than normal. And it's like, are you people really?
Well, believe it or not, that's the reason I don't walk at the hikes for Save 22 is
Mm-hmm.
because of my knees. I don't want to take a chance on causing an injury. And there again, like I said, I like staying at base camp myself just in case something does go wrong. If they need another vehicle for something, I can zip out there and get to wherever I have to get to right away. So,
Yeah, I think we're going to try to go to the next one if we can.
mm,
Because you know, with all three of my guys going to be in college next year, we don't know if we're going
mm.
to be able to make it.
Well, we also have to see what's going on in the world too. There's so much.
Yeah.
There's so much divide right now. It's ridiculous. So, and like I said, I'm not going to get political on your show, nor do I get political on mine. But there's just so much divide right now. So
Oh, it's
it's
horrible.
better to see what's going to happen. Hopefully, things clear up in general all the way around for people to stop the divide and understand people are
Spread
people.
more
And
love, not hate.
yeah, and it's like I say in the Watchers, have an open heart and an open mind. It's very a general statement, but it's also a highly spiritual statement too. So we'll see what happens. But what I am
Yeah.
going to do, because I just looked over, it's
Yeah.
2 hours and 12 minutes
I
we've been
looked at
breaking
that and I
bread.
was like, we need to get out of here.
I don't know how many people are still in the room watching or
Two.
talking.
And I am
Two?
like
Oh,
amazing that we
wow.
kept them that long. I know one is
I'm
Christy and I
sorry.
think the other one's Michelle,
I'm sorry for
which,
keeping you guys that long, but,
oh, they wouldn't be here if they didn't want to be. They both
okay.
they love to hear us. They love to see the different changes.
Well, I thank you very much for having me on tonight. I appreciate it.
Definitely.
We have to do it again soon.
Yes, we will. But everyone, please do, remember that we've got the challenge going on. I'm going to post something on um, High Notes. I'm going to post something on TikTok and here, and that way we can, get everybody in on it. I'm hoping that we can get the 100. Hell, I may even do it for 50 at this point. I don't know. If we can get 50 into one of these lives, I'd be willing to do it. 100
I,
would be better.
I would say it's not going to be that hard to get your 50. Um, say you get your live going, tell people what it's about, let them know
Yeah.
what it's going to, what we're going to be benefiting for doing it live and getting that many people involved. And, just start posting it up. Post it up. Let them know this is what you're going to do. This is how you're going to do it. You want people to be around and,
One of our
stay the
biggest
course.
things one of our biggest things is what we're trying to accomplish with these lives is to let people understand that they're not alone,
Oh, they're
and
definitely not
that
alone.
they need to talk. We need to make talking about mental illness as easy to talk about as our physical illness.
You know what? And the best time to do that is you're doing a live thing. The best time people will talk is when there's not an audience around. So the best thing to do is get them captured in the sense of here we are, this is where we'll be. So I would have to say you would kind of have, well, this is just a suggestion. You have your live going, and then you have your team on another platform or in the Facebook platform away from what's going on here live and say, hey, listen, this is what we're doing. Boom, 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 boom. And if you can get those people to stop by here, but you get your 50 plus on the other platform where they are discussing their problems. That's what's up.
Well, and one of the bigger things is we like to get people that'll come on and talk like you, that are willing to be open and honest about,
All right, keep it real.
their own problems. And we get people, they say, "Oh, I'm not alone." Somebody
not.
else is willing to talk about it, and they will listen, and they're going, "Okay, well, they can talk." They talk to her or all of her volunteers like that. And then they get curious. So then they find themselves texting us or calling us or messaging the page or, the TikTok or whatever. And that's how we get a lot of people that are, curious.
Well, and the promotion part is okay. Here's the thing: you're live right now. What's your TikTok?
All for the 22. Same as our
Okay.
name here.
And are you on Instagram?
Yes. Everything's Instagram, Twitch, the whole 9 yards. It's all
Okay.
for the 22.
All for the 22 is on all the main platforms, correct? So
Yep.
if anyone's paying attention or even got this far with us right now, opening and closing, all for the 22 is the name for all ways to contact. All right. And that's something that I'll reiterate myself on the watcher's point of view, letting them know, hey, on Twitter, you'll find them here. On TikTok, you'll find them here, all listed as all for the 22. And
Yeah.
that's something to reiterate, kick people up. When you start your live, let people know this is where I'm at. This is how you can reach me on any platform. This is how you can reach the crew on any platform. Boom. At the end of it, promote it again. In the middle, promote it again.
Yeah.
Just let people know.
Yeah, and that's why if you ever notice, we have the scroller across the bottom.
Oh yeah,
That's for
I like that. I like that, and that's why
for that.
I gotta look into StreamYard even more now because my thing is wow, that would be kind of cool to throw the watcher's point of view on that. Maybe I can.
Yeah,
learn
they've got one that's a little bit more. With the program I have, you can have up to 6 people, on camera with you.
Okay.
And that way you can do that, and it's all online, so you don't have to download any major downloads to keep it. So it's all run I have mine run on my iPad through Safari.
Okay.
So it's I can run it through my phone, through here, my iPad, wherever. But I am going to let everybody go. Please do not forget you are somebody else's glitter, and if you find one piece, you never only find one piece because there's always 1,000 more. Be true to yourself and smile because you never know if you are the only smile someone sees. Love your faces. Mwah! Furiously all for the 22. Love Nation proud.
Have a good one.